friends. So I figured because we can't see each other in person and do programs in person, I thought it would be fun to do our paper plate snail craft kit together. So we have craft kits available to pick up at both our Lancaster and Kershaw branches. If you weren't able to pick up a craft kit, I'll show you the items that you need that you might have around your house, and you can join us and do it together. So all you're going to need for this craft kit is a paper plate. You can also just cut a circle out of just a piece of construction paper. You're also going to need just a piece of construction paper, a pipe cleaner. Now if you don't have a pipe cleaner, I can show you what you can do instead when we get to that step, but some pipe cleaners, some little googly eyeballs, and like I said, if you don't have these, I will show you what you can do instead when we get to that step. And then some beads. This is just a mixture of wooden beads, all sorts of things. If you don't have beads, use buttons, anything like that, that we can make a shell out of. So first we are going to make a head for our snail. So what we're going to do is take our piece of paper and you're going to make like a boot shape. So we're just going to draw out a little boot. Trust me, I can't draw either, so we're just going to wing it. And just draw out. You can see that, a little boot shape. And then we're going to cut it out. So it should kind of look like this. So that way when we take our plate, it should stick out and look kind of like that, so you can kind of see the head shape. So you want to kind of make sure you have a neck so you can hide it. So if this part doesn't look good, that's fine. Just make sure you have kind of rounded shape here. So we're going to take this pipe cleaner and we're going to cut it in half. You don't have to cut it in half. Kind of depend on how long you want your eyeballs to sit, but I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to fold this in half, and then I'm going to glue my eyeballs to sit on the top of the ends right here. Okay, so now that we have eyeballs, you can see that, eyeballs at the top of our little pipe cleaners, set it aside, let it dry for a second. And then to our boot-shaped head, we're going to draw a mouth. So I'm just going to, whip off my fuzz from my pipe cleaner, I'm just going to use a marker, draw a mouth. Now, if you want a scary or sad, make a frowny face, scary face. Mine's going to be a happy snail, so I'm just going to draw a smiley face. Now, if you didn't have a pipe cleaner or googly eyes or anything like that at home, you can also draw on an eye. So that's what this would look like. Just draw on a little eye and a smiley face. You don't necessarily need that pipe cleaner or googly eye. If you don't have it at home and you weren't able to grab a kit, you can also just draw it on. It's not a problem at all. So then what you're going to do, once you have that smiley face drawn, you're going to take your pipe cleaners with your eyes and you're just going to glue it to the back of that piece of paper. You can also tape it, whichever is easier. I'm going to tape it just so that way it's dry, and I don't have to wait on it to dry. I'm just going to take a piece of tape and just tape it to the back, but you can also just glue it. I'm going to just do that for ease. So now we have our little eyeball and our heads, our eyeballs connected and our head done of our snail. So we're gonna set this aside, let everything dry, especially if you did glue this on the back, you wanna make sure that really does dry. So we're gonna set this aside and work on this, the shell of our snail. Okay, so to that paper plate. Now, like I said, if you don't have a paper plate, certainly just cut a circle out of a piece of paper. That would work just fine. And then just cover it with beads or buttons like we're about to do. You definitely don't have to use a paper plate. So you can just go straight in with glue and make that spiral. I like to draw it out just to have a guide to go off of, so that way I know where I'm putting my beads at, but do whatever you want to, you do you. So I'm going to start in the center, and I'm just going to make a spiral out with just a pencil, so that way when I put glue and stuff on top of it, you're not going to be able to see it because it's very, very faint. Now we're doing a spiral because if you've ever seen a snail's shell, they have a very tight spiral of a shell. So that's why we're going to do a spiral. So instead of me sitting here and you watching me just glue beads on, because that's not very fun, especially when you're not doing it. So I have already done one. So this is kind of my spiral. I didn't spiral, but so that's kind of what you're going for, just a spiral. So see, once you put those beads on, you can't see that pencil mark if you want to do pencils in there. So once you got that on, you're going to flip it over to the back side, and that's where you're going to put your snail. So you can decide what side you want to put it on. Again, I'm just going to tape it on. You can glue it on if you want to, but I'm just going to tape it just to make it easy, quick, so I don't have to wait for it to dry. Take some tape, and we're just going to tape it on. Now, if you do glue it, you want to make sure you let it completely dry before you pick it up, move it around, anything like that. And there you go. Now you have a cute little beaded snail paper plate, just like that. And don't forget to share what your finished product looks like with us. You can share it with us on our Facebook page, Lancaster County Library and Kershaw Branch Library, and I'll link all of our things like that. If you weren't able to get a kit, I'll also link the instructions down below. That way you can have them just in case you need them. Everything like that. Thanks for joining us today.